Hello future tech leaders, I'm Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Moving on with the first topic, as we discussed yesterday, we'll start working on each and every studio separately, and then we'll start with the email studio, and then we'll go to the next studio one by one. We will cover the technical and also non-technical part in each and every studio. Usually, the first half of the program is going to be a little more into campaign execution and channels. When we move into the email studio, mobile studio, analytics, email studio, mobile studio, just two of them is going to be more into a campaign side of it. When we complete this, we have a web studio where we will see some use cases where we will also implement AMP script. Suppose you have a smart form in your web studio, and when customers submit a lead, if you want to send that lead to a Salesforce object, how you can do that with MP script. Suppose if you would like to track all of the visitors, if anyone comes to your landing page and you would like to store all of them into your data extension, how you can do that with MP script. There's going to be only basic stuff. I mean, two of the studios are going to be a little more into basic and campaign execution side of it. Once we complete two of them, it's going to be a little more functional side and a little more technical, where we will start also working on the AMP script side by side. And then in the second half of the session, we have only one session which is going to be on the campaign execution side, which is going to be Journey Builder. Apart from three of these sessions, everything is going to be more into functional side and some classes. We may have to write an AMP script from scratch. In some classes, we may have to work on the SOAP and REST API and integration and all of them. Perfect. Great. I'll start with the first session today, since we have almost everyone on the call here. I believe, almost like everyone here, we know what we use the Salesforce Marketing Cloud for. What are the capabilities? That is something that we are aware of it. The Email Studio is one of the very popular tool in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Here in this Email Studio, we discussed about managing all the subscribers, and we have plenty of options to store the customer information. And we also have the content management system, which can be used in a cross-platform. That is all something that we are going to be covered in the Email Studio. The first, I'll start with the subscriber management. When I go to subscribers, and here we have something called all subscribers. When you click on them, you should be able to see the total number of subscribers that you have for your account. All. In general, we have different editions in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. We have Enterprise Edition, we say Enterprise 2.2. We have also a Core Edition. We have Agency Edition. This Enterprise Edition 2.2 is common. That's what most of the organization use it. We will have a top level business in it. We will have a top level business in it and then all child business in it. Child business in it 1, 2, 3, 4. With my current organization, we have a board close to 110 child business in it. That means each and every child business will present a country for us. That's how the organization can manage their countries in a child business in it. Each and every child business in it will have a data specific only to those countries. How we can switch to different business in? It is from here. Now I have access only to a business in it called Unleash. And this is a MIDI. Each and every business in it will have a unique MID. We call this as a unique identification or a member identification. This is something unique for each and every business in it. Perfect. For this business in it, we have about 531 subscribers in total. And we have to pay to Salesforce based on number of subscribers that we have. Perfect. This is how the Enterprise 2.0 account works. What we're now using is a Enterprise 2.2 because there are multiple child business in it. I have access only to one business in it, which is an Unleash All. The core and agency works a little bit differently. Each and every business in it works independently. But if you compare it with the Enterprise 2.0, you have about like a 10 child business in it. In this, each and every business in it represents a separate country for us. And all of this 10 child business in it, data will be in your top level. We bring all of the data into this top level and then we filter it accordingly for each and every country. If it's India, put the filter and then share the customers only for child business in it. Same it goes for child business in it too, and the rest of the countries. We apply filter from top level and then we segment the customers only for those specific countries. This is how we work with the Enterprise 2.0. But if it's a core or agency, how it works for us is each and every business in it is a separate entity for us. It works independently. If I say like France, and it will have only the content for France. And same it goes for Germany. And they are not linked together all. If I go to all top level business in it and when I come to all subscribers here and it will show like all the subscribers that I have for this instance. Like for all the business in it. Let's say like a 10 crore of data that I have for all this business need to show 10 crore data like in all of the places. And if any of the customer unsubscribe, they will unsubscribe from the entire account. That means master level. If one of the customer unsubscribe from child business in it 6, they will also unsubscribe from the rest of the business in it. And we won't be able to send out any email communication. But on the other hand, it doesn't work in that way because each and every business in it works separately. This is very rare. Usually you can see this kind of an account core and agency edition with the agency marketing agency, all of them. Because they will have a different clients and for each and every client they will have a separate business in it. Each and every business will be working independently for the particular client. This is a generic account edition that we have in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Perfect. As we discussed, the Salesforce Marketing Cloud is a purely transactional platform. We don't store the customers just like a C, Ramampar. Here we have all the email address status, subscriber key, created data, added data, and all of them. We have also plenty of other fields here. And if you just probably click on any one of the subscribers, we also be able to see the status of this customer and what is the list that he has been added to, what is the group that he has been added to, history, and all of this information they can check under the subscriber. Here it says, and subscription rate not applicable. In case, if you'd like to unsubscribe this customer from master level manually, you can also do it from here. And we have some of the attributes that we will be able to see. Name, country, date of birth, phone number, membership level, HTML emails. This is a profile attribute and this is a preference attribute. This is a two topic which we are going to be talking next. And if these subscribers have been added to any of this list, we should also be able to see this list here. Same it goes with the group and history. If this customer has received any email communication before, we will be able to see all of this history and activities here. Perfect. Even if a customer opening email, click your email, all of them will be able to see under the history tab. Perfect. Now here we have the status. Active, held, bounced, unsubscribed. And we know active status is someone who will be able to get the communication from us. Held status is basically happens if the customer is not being sent out any communication to the customer for quite a long time. And if they are not engaging with any of our emails, then we put them in a held status. This is automatically a system, does it? We don't have to do anything manually. The system will take care of the status part, and even for the bounce rate. We have a plenty of bounce rate. We have a hot bounce, block bounce, domain bounce, block bounce. There are plenty of them. There are more also. But here we'll get the status only bounce. Suppose if we are sending an email communication to a certain customers, and if the customer email address is not valid, it becomes a hot bounce. Immediately the system changes as a bounce customer. The block bounce is suppose if we are sending an email and the email is not getting delivered due to the temporary domain issue, or the inbox may be full, or it could be anything. One of these reasons could be the block bounce for us. And if it's a block bounce, there are some domains which does not allow you to send the commercial emails. My organization, my official email address does not allow any of the commercial emails coming from the different places. That when my organization, when they have a 5-hour setting which will block all the domains only, it allows only the certified and trusted domains to get the emails. That way it is also blocked. We call that as a block bounce. We should be able to see all of this status here for each and every customer. This customer is unsubscribed, and we also be able to see the subscriber key here. Perfect. Great. Moving on with the next one is a profile and preference management. This two-part. This is nothing, but we give an option for each and every customer to access their profile. We send out an email. We will have a header. We will have a photo. In the photo, we will have unsubscription button. And next to that unsubscription button, we will have something called Manage Profile. When customers click on Manage Profile, this is a page they will go to. This is a profile center that customer will land. Here they will be able to see their email address, their own personal information, your country, their birth phone number, and all of this information. And if a customer feels this information is incorrect, they can update the information here. And this is all about the profile attributes. We have like a email name, country, their birth. Suppose if you like to add new field to this profile center, you can directly add them here when you click on create. Suppose if you would like to just take. I'm just like coming up with something randomly. If you would like to take. If you would like to add the new attribute called gender, you can give you a description here, and then we also have a display number when it has to be. In which column number it has to come. You can move up and then you can play around here. And then is this required? And then do you want to hide this in the profile center, or is it has to be read only? We have all these attributes options here. And then when I move here, when I go to the next tab, what is it? Data type. The value that we are going to be filling here. Is it going to be a text? Is it going to be a number? It obviously will be writing male or female. All this in the data, it's going to be text for sure. If you would like to keep a default value, you can also keep the default value. And what is the maximum length? We can say like a no maximum length, or you can also say like a 10 because the male female is an option. Is the answer that we get from the customer. It doesn't exceed more than 10 characters. And then we can also keep the maximum length as a 50. Perfect. And then we have a values where in case if you have any drop down, if you would like to add any drop down, you can also add them here under the values. You can add gender like male and female. And then the customers will be able to pick it up. Now if I say default must be provided for subscribers already containing data and marked as required. All. It's because it says that when I say required, it needs some records for all the customers that we have already. Perfect. Now when I click on preview, now I can see my gender here in this profile information. This is how we add any extra attributes that if you'd like to add, we can add them under the profile management. Same it goes with the preference management. In preference management, there will be only two options. The customers would like to get the HTML version of an email or text version. All this is what we usually keep it. For some organization, there are more preferences like push notification and SMSs. If the customer would like to receive the communication from other channels as well, we can also add more preferences. Here, that is something we'll be able to manage it. Same way, like how we have added a profile attribute, we can also create the preference attributes. Here we can say mobile push SMS communication. And then when we say, we should be able to see this profile management here. Now we have only HTML and text email. We all send emails in HTML and also text version in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. That's kind of an option that we have to pick up. It's called MIME. We say multiport something, MIME multipurpose internet mail exchange. At the time of sending the campaign out from Email Studio, we pick up this MIME because the Salesforce, when you pick this up, the Salesforce Marketing Cloud will send the email in text and also in the HTML version. Why do we send that in a 2 version is because it's a best practice to do it. It's not something that we have to manually pick it up. It's a default option. It will be automatically checked for all the campaign that we send out. What does MIM will do is when you send out the email. Let's assume that one of your customers does not have a proper internet connection. It's very slow internet connection or maybe like using a very old phone or very old smartphone. When he opens an email that we have sent out, it at least shows the text version of it. And then the image will load slowly. HTML, we have all of this image hosted. It has to pull out all the content from HTML and everything. That's the difference. If you use the HTML, only HTML option, if the internet is slow, then it will be like slowly opening the email, like each and every content and block will load like one by one. Like how we used to use internet connection in dial-up long ago. Same way it will be like for the customers, if you send it along with the MIME, at least the text version, they will be able to see like a way. That is about the preference management. In the profile management, we contain attributes about personal information, name, country, gender, mobile number, data with all of them. In preference management, we take a preference from a customer, which is their preference of getting an email, or if they want to get the communication from other channels as well. We can add a couple of more preferences here as well. There are some organizations that sit as well, but most of the time we'll usually keep only 2 of them. There is a drawback of using this Salesforce Profile Center. It's in our control. It's in the management control whether we can use this profile center or not. Why some of the organization does not use this profile center is when I scroll down, we have this option called unsubscribe from all. Suppose if a customer clicks on this and then click on update, they will not be getting any communication from any of the child business unit. They will be unsubscribed from a master level. And when we create this business unit, we also can control the unsubscription from a particular child business unit level all. Even if it's Enterprise 2.2, we have an option. But if customer click here and then say I don't want to receive from all publication, and then none of the business unit can be able to send out this communication. We are losing this customer just like easily. All this is one option that we don't use, as most of the organization does not use this profile center. And when we go to the next subscription, next step. Here also we will be able to see if the customer is enrolled. I mean been added into any of this list. All here we have all the publication. This is something that we are going to be talking in the next step. We have all the publication. If customers have been added to any of this publication list, they can able to see. Like if Kumar is added to like 2 of this publication list, they can see it. Like for e-commerce based company, they will have all the products here, like home and furniture, clothing, shoes. they will have all the products added as a publication list. And some of the customer may have shown interest for like a home and furniture and clothing, and they can see checked for like 2 of those products. And if they don't want to receive any more communication on clothing, and they can uncheck it. And whatever the communication that we're getting from the company, like regarding the clothing, we won't get any communication from that publication. This is how the customer, as a customer, I can handle my profile. What is the kind of a communication that I should get from you? And this is all something that we can control in the profile center. This is a really good advantage or a good functionality. But if I scroll down again, I have the same option here. Unsubscribe from all, which will allow for the customers to unsubscribe in the master level. I don't want to lose the customer just very easily. That's the reason we have this publication list all. And that's the reason majority of the organization, they don't use this profile center from a Salesforce, and they will come up with your own profile center. And then they will attach it to the email communication. When customer clicks on the profile center in the photo of an email, they will go to the customized profile center which an organization has created, where it will also have the information about email and all of them. We will also have the unsubscription, but we will handle it differently in the customized profile center that we create. Perfect. This is all about profile and reference management. We work on two of this topic only. Probably only once. When we take up the Salesforce Marketing Cloud account, sometimes if you would like to add a new fields into the profile management, we work on it. Otherwise, this two of this tab is something that we don't really work on it on a regular basis. Perfect. And I was talking about publication list. Let me put the example here. We have a publication list. Generally, most of the organization will have only 2 publication lists, commercial or transactional. Now, whenever I send out an email, which is when I promote my product or service, I associate this commercial email, associate this commercial publication list at the time of sending. All I get this option. I'm going to show you again. I'm going to show you once we create the email, and when we initiate this, then we will be able to pick up this publication list all. I will pick up the commercial publication when I'm trying to promote my product or service. Suppose if I'm sending an email communication to the customer when they reset the password, when they probably change some account details, we trigger an email to them saying your account information has been updated to on. And you have, then thank you for purchasing your product and blah blah blah. We send out. That's all. If I'm sending an email communication based on the customer action, then I use the transaction. There's only 2 publication lists most of the organization use. But when we check here in the publication list tab that we have for this account, you may see some 100 and 200 of publication list. It's only 5 now. It's been cleaned up. We will see only 2 publication lists. If we are associating each and every commercial, each and every publication list at the time of sending based on the classification. Now, If a customer unsubscribes, they will unsubscribe from a commercial level publication list. It's same. It goes for transactional, but the status will not change in the all subscribers. The status will still say active. But here, the status of if a customer, I'm saying I sent out an email, commercial sent, and the customer is also unsubscribed. The status only changes in this publication list, but not in the all subscribers. In this way, we retain this customer. We should be still able to reach out to this customer in a different campaign. But we have to be really careful when we do that, because as per the XIM spam, as per the GDP or regulation, we are not supposed to send out the communication to the customer when they unsubscribe. And this has to happen like within 15 days, 15 working days. We have to unsubscribe from our system. Otherwise, we will have to pay a huge penalty to the organization, to the customers. The status of this customer get updated in this publication list, but not in all subscribers. And then we will be able to reach out to the customers in the different campaign or through the different channel. Now the customers unsubscribe in the email. Now I can still be able to reach out to this customer from other channel like your mobile connector, mobile push. That's the whole purpose of having a publication list. This is a great functionality when we use them in the email campaign. I'll now show you quickly how does the status looks for in the publication list. We can also create a shared publication list and then we can share it with the multiple business units. Here there's something called Walmart Marketing, which I have created recently, and we have a subscriber count which says 4. And when I open this, we have the status active, active, active for all of these 4 customers. And when we send out the email and if a customer unsubscribe, the status will get changed only here in the publication list, but not in all subscribers. In this way, we retain the customer. Now, how do we create this publication list? Whatever the publication list that we are going to be creating, it will be visible in the profile center for the customer. Now there are like some 5 of the publication lists that we see here. I'll create something called commercial. And I make this attribute as a public. We have all of these publication lists. Now the one which I have created as a commercial. Let's say that you have 100 customers in a data extension. You send out an email and you associate this commercial publication list and all of these 100 customers will be added here. And you again send the same email to the same 100 customers after 2 days. And associating this commercial publication list. They will not be added here again. It will have only the unique subscriber count here. But if the customer unsubscribed in the second email that we have sent out, the status will change it for here, for the particular customer. And if you send another email, but you again sending out with different customers, like let's say like 500 customers, you're adding as a new and then sending out email. Then your subscriber count will become 600. This is how it will be. Keep on adding your subscriber count here in the publication list. If they unsubscribe, they will unsubscribe only this publication list. Now we have to pick up this publication list at the time of sending. All will come to this part a little bit later. Now this publication list. something can be accessible in the profile center. When customer go to Pro Center, when they go to Subscription Center, here what we see here is a plenty of publications which has been created before by the participants. We have done many batches, test batches, and this is all being created by the participants for testing purpose. And what you see here is something that I have created now. Commercial. For most of the organization will have only 2 of this publication list. We don't see like many. We don't see like more than 2 or 3. It depends on how this organization is really being structured. Commercial, we will be able to see. If I am a customer and I have been added to this particular commercial, then I should be able to see this check mark here. And if I don't want to get any more commercial emails, only I want to get the transaction emails, I can pick up the transaction. I can update this. Update the subscription center. Going forward, I won't get any commercial. I'll get only the transaction. This is how the customer will be able to handle the publication list which they would like to receive, which they don't want to receive, that we are giving a transparency for customers to control it. Perfect. I believe far we are clear. Now coming to I have a quick question. What is the relationship between subscribers and publication list? All the difference between all the relationships, the relationship between subscriber and publication list. This publication list is it will have the subscribers, but it is not connected to your any other business in it. The status of this particular subscriber that we have in publication list, it doesn't go to any other business in it. But when your subscriber status changes here in our subscriber, that means you will see the same status in every business in it. This customer is bounced. Gita Authority of Gmail. This customer will be bounced in all the business in it wherever we go, because this is all connected to your account. It's a master level data that we see here. But the publication is a local business in it. The status that will appear only for this particular business in it. Here we were discussing about different business in it here. Here in this business, in it I have something called top level. I have about 10 customers, 50 customers here. Randomly, I have some customers here. Now this is going to be my all. This is going to be the value of all of this. In my top level business in it, I have 2180 subscribers in top level business in it. And each and every business in it, I have these number of subscribers. And we split them for each and every business in it. Now, if any of this 50 customers status get changes here in this child business, any of this child business in it, it will reflect for all the business in it. If a customer unsubscribes, I think I understood that part. I understood that part, but the only thing I don't follow is, the list of subscribers. We didn't see how those subscribers were getting created. Is it a manual process? Is it coming from somewhere else? And then the publication lists. Are they going to be created by someone who is setting the marketing process for a business? things on those things. We create subscribers. There are different ways of importing the customers or subscribers into a marketing cloud. That is something we'll be coming into that in the next session. We have a data extension, we have a list, we have an import definition. We can also bring the customers to the subscribers. We bring the customers from multiple sources. Once we have them here, whenever we send out the email, they will be automatically added to all subscribers. If we have them in a data extension, it's not added into as soon as we bring the data from external, different third-party system. They won't appear here when we trigger an email or even we trigger an SMS or push notification to them, and that's when they'll come to the all subscribers. Now they have been added, and how do we manage their subscriber status? I don't want to change their status in all subscribers, but I still want to send out the email from a different channel. In that situation, that's when we use this publication list. I associate the email I send out if they unsubscribe. They are unsubscribed only in the publication list, not in the master level. As a marketing cloud expert, I could able to still reach out to the customer from different channel. I think I follow. Perfect. 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 Now moving on with the next topic, which is going to be list and groups. When I go to the groups, this is really a good feature that we have in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. You can combine your profile attributes and also with the measurements. We have something called measure here. These are our system generated measurements. We have unsubscription rate. We have a unique opens. We have a unique clicks. We have a marketing sense lasts for 30 days. We have all of these measurements which is being created from this system. It is all system defined. We don't have to create these metrics by ourselves. When we take up this account, this will be automatically there. Now, what does this group do for us is you have been assigned with a campaign where you have to send out the email to the customer who has not opened your email for the past 60 days. And what we usually do, we write SQL query, we see which are the customers who has not opened the email, and then we put them in a separate data extension and we send out email. All we don't need to really do that. When I click on create, and here we cannot go with the random. We have to go with the group because we would like to send out the email to the customers who has not opened my email for past 60 days. Let's go with the filter group here. And here let's go with all subscribers because I'm picking up the all subscribers as a source for me. Now we see the two of these attributes, profile and preference attribute, and also measurements. When I open this, I should be able to see the attributes that I have in the profile and preference. When I go to measures, I see all of the system defined attributes that we have. Now I can easily combine. Now my whole objective is to create an audience who has not opened my email for past 60 days. Here I have the system metrics who total emails not open last 30 days. Here we get an option. I can simply say 60 days. Perfect. Now when I save and build, I should be able to create a group from all subscribers who has not opened my email for the past 60 days. It does not only deal with open rate. We have a not clicked. We have a bounce customer the mark total marketing sent for the last 60 days transactions and uniquely. And we have plenty of these metrics that we can use it. And then if you like to add any general filter, like the particular customer should be from Germany. Country is equal to, we have only like 3 countries, far like in all subscribers. We can add these countries as a filter. And when we save and build, and we should be able to create this group. And then we can use this group at the time of sending the email. We can just pick up this group and then we can initiate the email sent. I'll just say, we started this batch on 10th. I'll save this. Perfect. Now my group is created. Just give me a second. I'll connect my charger. Now it's processing. It will take about 1 or 2 minutes to process because we are filtering from all subscribers. And we are filtering based on the email which has not been opened for the past 30 days. And the customer should be from India. Based on this condition, it will process and we will be able to the number of subscribers. We do this. In case, if you would like to come up with a campaign, like when you have to like a play filter and send out the communication from all subscribers. Now we will be able to see how many subscribers that we have for this condition that we created. This is a group. Now moving on to the next topic is going to be list. Here you can also create your own list and then you can maintain this list. This list is, let's not confuse, publication list and list, or both of them work separately. It does work separately. Let's not confuse with the publication list and list this list. We majorly use data extension. These two option. We use it to store customer information. But the difference between list and data extension is data extension. In the data extension, you can customize your own fields. Data extension. You can customize your own fields here. Customize your fields. Suppose example, if I give you an example, you would like to store more information about customer, like when the customer has purchased. What is the purchase ID? What is the purchase frequency? Is it a returning customer? And what is the source of this customer? And if you'd like to store a complex information, and if you'd like to store more than like 5 lakhs of records, and that's when we use this data extension. In other hand list, you won't be able to. You have a limited to customize your field. Limited. We have only a limited option. What it does show in the list is whatever that we have in the profile and preference attribute. That will be created automatically as a fields that we have in this list. We are going to see that now. Now, this is a part. And then if you would like to store more than 5 lakhs of records, you can use it. You can use this data extension because it meant to process many data all. And again, this view, use the list when you would like to send out the email or store customer. Less than 5 lakhs of customers. And that's a major difference that I can think of it. When you are on top of that, you cannot use this list and contact build up. And this is something not being used here. And here is something that we can use it in Contact Builder for creating a relationship. This is a major difference between list and data extension. Now let's create a list. Here we have if you like to make this as a public list. This will start up waiting for the customers in the subscription center. I don't want to make it public. I'll leave the external key. The system, when I create this, the external key will be automatically created. You can give the description and where you would like to store this list. Let me go to the next step. The nifty feature of this list is you can trigger and welcome email to the customer as soon as they have been added. You can pick up the email that you might have created already. When you pick up this email, if any of the customer been added to this list, we will send out this welcome email. System will send out the welcome email automatically. This is one advantage that we have with the list. I'll skip this part. I don't want to send out the welcome email and then I save this. Let me open the list that I have created. Here you see this fields, email, status, subscriber, key in these. All are coming from your profile and preference center. All subscribers, we have seen all the fields in all subscribers' status email address. That's what we will see. Along with that, we will also see the profile and preference management fields that we have added. We see the country text, email, gender, phone number. This is all fields coming from membership level. This all coming from your profile and preference management. If I have to add any fields, I have to add them in this 2 of this management. All. That's when it will start reflecting for all the list. That is the limitation that we have with a list. When you would like to send out the properly email which does not have really a huge personalization. Like you just have to send out the email and it's very simple and straightforward. And then you can use the list when you would like to send out the email with a complex personalization using an AMP script using SSJs. That's when we use the data extension because it gives a more control for you. We use a list or data extension or group to send out the email communication. Now moving on to the data extension. Now we know when do we have to use a list, as we discussed. I'll come to all of this part. Here I'm going to create a new data retention policy. Here you see this fields that we have to define it here because each and every fields that we can customize the data extension but not in a list. In the list, I just gave the name and then I just created a list which had the fields automatically. And if I have to add new, I have to add a new field here in the profile of preference management. Then it will start reflecting for all the lists that we have. Now, but in the data extension, I create my own fields which I wanted to save for this field. Each and every data extension is dependent. I mean, each and every data extension is nothing but the relational database that we have in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. You can use the unique name for each and every data extension because we can easily relate. We can query them in the Automation Studio for segmenting purpose. This is a difference between the main business difference between list and data extension. Now let me come to the first part. We have just quickly created data extension folder because we will be using this folder structure for testing multiple campaigns. I would suggest to create a subfolder in this data extension. There are plenty of participants has created their own folder and they have done a testing. I would suggest you to click here and then click on new folder, and then you should be able to create your own subfolder here, and then you can practice it in the main folder. If we are stuck somewhere or to troubleshoot something, we can straight away go to this folder and we can check on this. Now, if I click on create, I have a standard data extension, filter data extension, and random data extension. I'll come to this two of this option in a while. Now I'll go with the standard data extension. Here we have a creation method, creating from new and existing. Suppose if I say existing, we have to pick up the data extension which we have already in the system. If you would like to replicate the same fields and everything, you can just pick up one of them, but it has two records count. When you replicate, these two records will not be added. It will replicate only the fields that you have in the data extension, like a first name, last name, and all of them. That is only will be replicated, but not these records. Now the last option that we have is a template. System also has its own template. Suppose if I just go with the triggered send, if I just go with send log, it will have its own fields. And when I come to this third party, it will have its own fields. Let me go to the next step. It says job ID list, ID batch, ID subscriber, ID trigger ID. This all fields have been automatically added because I'm using a system template. If you need all of these fields, you can pick them up. We also have a different template system. Templates here. If you like to use them, you can pick it up. I'll come to this part in a while because we use a system template for triggered send. For now, I'm going to be creating a data extension from scratch. I'll say interest at customers. We can leave the external key. It will automatically create it. You can see the description here. And if you would like to use this data extension for sending the email, you can. You have to check this out as sendable. And if you would like to use this data extension for testing purpose, you also have to make sure that you have these two options. Sometimes this option will not be checked and you won't be able to see this data extension at the time of sending. Just we have to make sure like if this is going to be sendable or testable. And here we have the data retention policy. And this is not a mandatory setup that we have to do it for all the data extension that we set up. Data retention policy is nothing, but we clear out the records after a certain time. When I switch on, we have three of this option: individual record, all records, and data extension and all records. When I say individual records and I have the time duration, time frame as after 5 days. After 5 days, the individual records can be cleared out from the contact window. If I say all records after 6 days, all the records in this data extension will be cleared after 6 days. But the data extension will be there. It will have all the fields. but will have just only the skeleton. It will not have any records. If I say all records and data extension, after 6 days, all of the records and also including data extension will be deleted from the system. When do you really use this data retention policy? If you like to store some customer information only for a certain period and you may not use these customers like in the future, that's when you switch it on. Otherwise, the other use case for switching on the data retention policy. Companies like Amazon, Flipkart, they create a trigger to data extension. When customer buy a product in the website, they will automatically be added here. They will already exist in all subscribers. The customers will be able to log in when they have an account and then will be able to manage the separate subscriber keys like differently for them. But when the customers purchase, they will be added here. And we send the only email once and then after that we don't send email. That's why there are like 1 lakh or 2 lakh customers may buy a product on Amazon on daily basis. We don't need to store all of them. That's when we kind of switch on the data retention policy. If you are going to be using the customer information only for shorter duration, that's when we keep it on. Otherwise, it's not something required for us. And we have also on. If you say, like, if you would like to play these records on today, we can also mention them here. And we have a reset period on import. This one there are. You can import the file through a CSV file into a data extension. Or you can also import through Automation Studio from a CSV file. When you import a file, it will reset on import. It will reset in the sense it will overwrite. Basically, it will clear off all the existing records and then you'll add the new records that we're getting from CSV file. If you'd like to reset these records that you have in the data extension from an import, then you can also keep this on. For now, I'll disable this because we don't need this data retention policy. The whole objective, if you are storing this customer only for shorter duration and if you're not going to be using that customers for later purpose. A purpose that we can switch this data retention policy on. Puff. Here's a field that we can customize for each and every data extension. We will have a subscriber key, which is going to be the unique identification for each and every subscriber key. That is going to be me. That is going to be my primary key. Now, what may be the fields that we have for customers like a first name, last name, country, date of birth, we will have all of this field for all of the customers. In this field, which is going to be representing the unique value for each and every customer, that's obviously going to be a subscriber key. It does change for organization to organization. Some organization may use the email address as a subscriber key. All it depends on them. Depends on organization to organization. Some organization may use a subscriber key and also email address as a primary key. That means these two has to be there in this data extension, which is going to be considered as a primary key for us. There can be a multiple primary key. It does depends on how the organization is being structured and how the data flow is being structured. most of the organization, but it will have a one unique identification. It's going to be a subscriber key. Or it can be like any other field that we have. It has to be unique, but for each and every subscriber. And here, once you create the field here, we have an option to pick up your data fields. Subscriber key is always a text and it cannot be more than 50 character length. And it cannot be nullable. We will not give a default value as well. And first name is again going to be text. Length is going to be 50. Fine, this can be nullable. When I say nullable, it can have empty records in this field. Same, it goes for last name. Here we have a gender. This needs to be a boolean. If you want to keep it as a boolean, otherwise you can as a text. Suppose if you like to say boolean, we cannot use boolean. It has to be a text. Boolean is true or false. If you like to come up with any of the data types, then we can use the boolean field. Now it has to be a text. Countries also is going to be text. Date of birth needs to be a date field. And email needs to be an email field. This is really important because when you keep the email field as a text, the system will be able to send out the email. But sometimes it cannot recognize which is the field that it has to use for sending out the email. All when we keep the data type as an email address, and automatically system will recognize this field and then we'll be able to send out the email. We have come across this issue recently and many times, like in the past, that the marketing cloud experts, they created a data extension, import the customers into a data extension. They send out an email. They may have a 10,000 customers uploaded here. But when they send out an email, only 5,000 customers may have received. And they will be like, there will be no clue like why the 500 customers has been not received the email communication. It's because of the improper field that we have created. There are plenty of other fields we have. When you would like to store a number date boolean we have discussed about. If you'd like to come up with a yes or no, then we can come up with a boolean. Phone number is something that we have already picked up decimal. Yes, suppose if you would like to store some currency information, and that's when we use this decimal but not the number. Suppose it's not really common in India that we buy any product for 100 rupees and 57 paise, something like that. It's not really common in India. It will be round off figure like a 90 rupees, 9 hyphens and rupees. It will not have a decimal like 90, 57, 57. But in Europe and US, it's very common because they also use the cents. In that situation, if you'd like to store like those decimal values, you can also keep this decimal when we pick up this data value. I'll pick those all of them as a nullable. It can have empty records, but I don't want to give a nullable field. As for email and phone number, we are doing this for email campaign. I can keep the phone number as nullable. Purchase value nullable. Here send relationship. What is going to be your send relationship? This is really very important. What needs to be sent relationship? Usually it will be a subscriber key all. Now let's imagine this data extension that I have created. I have imported a new customer. They don't exist in my all subscribers. They don't exist here. I have added 100 new customers and I'm going to send out this email to the all 100 customers. When I send out, What are the values that I have in this field will be added as my subscriber key in all subscribers. That is my send relationship. If I as a send relationship and send out the email, what happens? These, whatever the values that I have in this email field, will be added as a subscriber key in all subscribers. We are just telling the system which field needs to be taken as a subscriber key. In the top in the all subscribers, what happens here is some customers, some of the marketing cloud experts, they'll be keep on changing this send relationship. Now I'm sending this 100 customers an email as a keeping the send relationship as a subscriber key. And again the same marketing cloud user create another data extension. That time they might have probably, by mistake, they might have probably picked the send relationship as the email. What happens is we will see 100 new customers added to all subscribers. That's a kind of a duplication. It will add 100 new customers because this email address is new in the system. It will be added as a subscriber key. That's how the duplications are created. The send relationship has to be always same for the campaign that we are sending. And now I'm having another 100 customers which has these customers in the all subscribers. If they already exist, the system will check if the subscriber key does exist in all subscribers. If they exist, it will send out the email and it updates the fields. If they don't exist, it will be added as a new subscribers. But when we use a multiple fields as a send relationship, we will be keep on duplicating the subscriber keys. This part is really important. And the second part is the primary key, which needs to be the primary key. Some data extension, we don't also need the primary key. But it's up to us. If you say that this is going to be the unique field for this particular data extension, you can mark this one as a primary key. Please let me know if you have any question. Do we have any data type by pick list value or multi-select here data types? All pick list. Who will get the option for this pick list? It is well. We using this data extension to store customer. Like the pick list, I don't get it how it's going to be really benefiting us. I think I can select multiple options like a male or female, something like that. All. This is, for example, some people might have kept the wrong spellings. Gender same as in gender itself or something country. Suppose, if you are sending relationship to country, I understood you're sending no subscriber key. Suppose if they select country and the type instead of Bulgaria, they miss some E in between. Then we are going to miss that particular. Subscriber rate. I'll tell you why we don't have the pick list here. We are just creating only the fields for the data extension. Once we create this data extension, we are going to be importing the data either through a CSV file or either through an AP. I call all. That's the reason we don't have this pick list when we import them. It's really not a legal or common practice, good practice to enter the subscribers manually in the system in the SFMC. We always do an import or we send it from an AP. I call. When we do that and we don't need this pick list option, we will have to make sure that we have a proper, clean data whenever we do import or whenever we send the data from API list. When we buy the data also, we should take care like there is nothing like. And one more thing is then, this data extensions are there. This is only for email marketing but not for mobile. Correct? Because I have a book, like suppose previously told a preference. Preference. Like I don't want to receive. Suppose the business is into multiple, the company is into multiple things. They're marketing even air conditioners. Some are marketing television, suppose. They don't want to receive the emails, but the other one can air condition. They want to receive the email. If you get that list here, and you are doing subscriber key. You told that previously. That is going to be happening in the preference list. The preference list they are going to unsubscribe for only the television part. Then yes, the subscriber key will be the same in that case. Both. What I'm trying to ask you is here you are added, and this when you send an email, it becomes a subscriber, correct? Now the subscribe will be active. And in the past, suppose, now this is the new data for you. But in the past, they have already done. I don't want to receive any television related, any email, but I want air conditioner related. Then how this is going to understand that kind of data? When you uncheck air condition and when you uncheck the other publication list, in other publication list, the status will be changed to inactive. And we won't be able to send out any more communications. And the subscribers list that you have in the publication list, the new publication list which you have picked up, they will not be added as soon as you check out. When we send out the email to them and when we pick up this publication list, and that's when they will come to this publication list. And if you are not, no, I'm not sure when you previously told that concept, and what I'm asking is now this data, how they get their base with different vendors, correct? This data came from different vendor, but already that particular for some X subscriber already exists in your marketing cloud. Previously he had already did. I don't want to receive any television related emails. I want only that air condition related. But whether this new data will understand before sending an email that this customer already exists. This prospect might be. This prospect already exists and they don't want to receive the emails related to television because you are sending the relationship to subscriber key. This is a new subscriber key. What duplicates are there? Previously already the same. There is coming here again. I got your question. That's when I was talking about the same relationship, and we should have a unique identification for each and every customer. Suppose you have this customer already with one subscriber key and you're adding the same customer with the different subscriber key. They're going to be duplication. The system will not be able to recognize because we have the same relationship as a subscriber key. All the subscriber key does have the unique identification of each and every customer. And if the same customer is badly added with the different subscribers, then that's when we will have many duplications here in the system. If we have the proper data flow which uses the centralized repository to bring the data to SFMC, In that way, we will avoid all this duplication. It lies on the subscriber key. Does it make sense? I got it. But logic is missing. Subscriber key, where you're getting the number. See, the X is already existing in the system. Then from the new data, subscriber key is automatically generated. Or some number we are giving manually because it might be from different vendor where you might have bought, where you already have in the whole system from the different vendor. You got that list. Let me tell you how this works. And we don't really get the data from different vendors. We don't buy the customer information and then we input it directly here. And top of that, subscriber key is something which is defined in the enterprise data backbone. We call it as a centralized repository, or we will keep all of the customer information, like either it can be in Azure or it can be in AWS. Any of this storage service that we have, we will use this all. If any customer comes here, if any customer shows interest for your product, they will go to any of this cloud service or any of the server. And from there, we will have a single connection to a Salesforce Marketing Cloud. The subscriber, key creation and everything is going to be handled here. We are not creating any subscriber key manually. We're getting the data only from these two cloud services. If your organization has any one of them, it will be like we are getting the subscriber key, first name, last name, mobile number, everything from this. All because we have connected to this cloud services or the storage services we have in the market when customer shows interest. It doesn't mean directly come to a Salesforce Marketing Cloud. We don't do it unless if you are having an API integration, it usually comes in this way. That's the reason we are maintaining the duplication. And that is a point where I have mentioned we never buy any customers from one of the vendor and then import it. That's not a best practice at all. We never do it. We only import the customers only if they come through this process. If you have to manually import them, we can do it. But you have to make sure that you have the unique subscription key, like for all the customers. And you have to make sure that same customer goes back to this AWS or Azure back to them. And we have to make sure, or else you can also do it import directly here and then it directly synchronize in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. How you are getting the data that customer in the years. Is it said it's an open for all the companies in the world? Because there might be many competitors. Everyone will have the access to the same Azure and AWS, which is open for all the market. And we have to buy from them. How you have to buy? We have to buy a space with the AWS and then you. That's a different team all put together. We will have a separate AWS architect specialist, immigration specialist and all of them. They will be able to handle it. We have to basically buy a space from them. Got. Then there is no chance of duplication. This is the best practice that we usually do it. There are some users who buy the product by the customer information and they import it. But we control that like in the user permission level. But that's not a best practice. We never do that in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. This is a kind of a workflow that we usually keep. Either it can be any of this or it can be if you have the data in Salesforce here. You can also synchronize your Salesforce here. We never create any leads in Salesforce Marketing Cloud even for testing purpose. I create the lead in the Sales Cloud and then it will be synchronized in the SFMC like in a fraction of minutes. And then I'll be able to use this customer for testing out. That's how it works. Whenever we are creating or uploading customers, it has to be in the database here in the main one. Got. Thank you. Perfect. We have all the required fields for the data extension that we have created. We have also primary keys. We spoke about the subscriber key. Now, if I proceed further, my data extension is going to be created. Now I have an option of importing the customers through this CSV file. I can import the customer through API call, or I can also manually enter the customer, which is not something that we don't do it, but for the testing purpose. But I will be showing all the ways of adding the customers into this data extension. Now, if I open this data extension, I will have the properties and fields. Yes, someone asked. Yes, we can have two primary key in the data extension. It depends on how each and every organization is structured. The data flow. If your organization has a two unique identification for each and every customer, then you can keep the primary key to primary key in the data extension that we create. Someone also has some questions here. Yes. The email length is always 254. Perfect. For the text, we can control the maximum length. There are some cases where I'll come to this part also in the upcoming session, where we create a data extension for storing the content. The maximum length for text is only 4000. We cannot save more than 4000 text in the fields. Perfect. When I come to a record, here I can see all of my records. I should be able to see them. I can export them and I can also import it. When I say like export, we can export a maximum of 20 MB data. If it exceeds more than 20 MB data, then we have to export it to only FTP. All. We have file transfer protocol for each and every business in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And that's where we will be able to extract the data from. We have to send it to FTP, and from FTP we have to download. We will come to this FTP part in a little while. Perfect. Now, if I just have to import, I can import them through my local system and CSV file. I can import them. And what is the import type? What is the delimiter? Delimiter by default, we can keep it as a comma. If you have a tab or if you have any other delimiter like a pipe or something like that. Example, if you have in your data extension like this first name, last name, mobile number, something like that. And here Kumar, you will have something like this, or VK something like that. And then mobile number. When you have a data in this format, you can say the delimiter as a pipe here. If you say like a comma, then if you have the customers in a different fields, like a first name and all of them, it would be automatically taken like a comma. If you have all the fields, we majorly go with a comma as a delimiter. And we just have to import a CSV file. That CSV file should have all of these fields. Whichever the fields that we have in the data extension, it should also have it here. If we have any fields which is not nullable, that should have the values. The first name is not nullable. The mobile number is also non-nullable. If you just upload any data, probably let's do one thing. I'll import one CSV file very quickly. Firstly, I'll just create one dummy records. That's when I'll be able to import them. If you have to manually import some customers, we have to use this contact builder under the audience builder. We can use the contact builder. When we come to a data extension, we can create records manually here. Here we don't have option. Here let's go to the data extension. And here let me just pick up the data extension which I have created. When I go to records here, I can create the records manually. The subscriber key. This part I'm showing only for testing purpose. We never do it in SFM. See, when you work in an organization, we never add any subscribers randomly like this because we do it from any of these data sources that we discussed. There are plenty of options. We have a list loader. There are some interfaces that we create and where we can import them and it directly goes to this place. And from there it directly synchronizes to FM. We never do it. But just for the testing purpose, I am doing it here. First name, last name, gender, male, country, India, date of birth. Just pick up something. Email address. Perfect. Now we have one customer. Now if I have to if I have to export them, I should be able to do it now. Now I have one record in this data extension. Let's export this. Here it shows the size of the file. If it exceeds more than 20 MB, we won't be able to download it from the browser. This will be disabled and we will always have to export it from the directory, which is something that we will be checking in the upcoming session. We are going to pick up the CSV file, and if you want to include all the headers, obviously yes, I don't want to encrypt, compress and all of them. I'll just keep it as it is. Now it should be downloaded in my browser. Now I have all the fields and I have also one customer which I have added. Something I'll randomly add, some customers here. I'll change only the country. Perfect. I'll save this CSV file. Great. Now I can import them directly here from my computer. The file is going to be this one. We go with delimiter as a default. 1, comma. Yes, someone has a question. Yes, Smith, are you able to say something? We have the import type. You have to be a little bit careful on the overwrite. When we say overwrite, it will delete the existing records in the data extension and will be importing the new records that we have in the CSV file. And we have an add and update, and we have all of them. Import options, you can skip the rows. This is all the basic stuff. The configure mapping is really quite important when we do this import. Map by header. If you have all of these fields in the file that we are importing, it will automatically map it. It has an email. For some reason, it's not detecting the subscriber key. When we say like pickup, we have contact key. I think I might have probably picked up a wrong file because it does not have the matching value here. I think 26. Yes, I think I have picked up a wrong file. Interested customers 10th5p. This is the one that I have extracted now. It's 10th. Yes, this is a file which I have done it. But by mistake, I have picked up the wrong one. Now, when I say map by header, this is from your Excel sheet that you're importing, and this is a data extension columns. This will automatically map when you have the matching headers. For subscriber key to subscriber key, email to email. Suppose if you have the subscriber key the same way in the Excel sheet, but you have a space in between subscriber space, then it will not be mapped like properly. You have to manually like map it. All same it goes for email. If the fields are matching with the file that you're importing from CSV with the data extension columns, then it will be mapped. You can use this when you have the exactly same column name when you say map by ordinal. It works based on your column number. The column 1, whatever the values that you have the column and will be considered as a subscriber key. And if you have the last name as a column in the column 2. If you don't have this field here, the second column will be added as your first name and gender column will be added as your last name. And whichever the column number that you have, it will be added like one by one to this data extension. All that is, if you like to do it based on column name, you can go with a map by ordinal. And the final one is map manually. You can pick up subscriber key to subscriber email to email first name to first name. This is something that you can do when you have a different column name, but the value does represent this field. In that situation, you can also do it. We can pick up the fields like manually. This is a 3 option. The best option that I would prefer usually to go with this is a map manually, because we get an option to pick up the fields correctly if it's something missed out. And we have this email address to send the notification. I don't want to keep this email address when this input is completed. All it's required. I think we are like in the edge of time. I'll just stop it here as soon as this file is imported. Like within a couple of minutes, I should see the number of records here added to it. This is how we import the customers through the CSV file. All as we discussed, it's very rare that we do it in SFMC. Great. I think we're almost done with the subscription part. Thanks everyone. Thank you much for your time. Have a great rest of the day. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.